Rage.
I said funny.
That's not what you said. Roll it back your way. Roll it back. Play it again.
But the funny purple item. But I still think tank, like if you did the tanking, it would still be possible. But no, Ari kind of confirms that it's going to be Rocket Belt. So away we go.
Nothing crazy. Now, the other thing about this is that, like, if you are Xayah or Kennen in this game and you have to play against a Jace, you're going to want to pull your hair out because Jace has become an absolute beast inside of the game. I'm surprised this champion doesn't get abused at all levels because I cast like amateur, I cast in college, I cast like some semi-pro stuff. And I feel like this champion is not abused in the slightest, especially here in NA. Maybe it's just because we have the worst Jaces in the world, but like, this champion to me is free to play, like in so many opportunities. It's so good. It's almost blindable in a lot of circumstances, but especially when you don't blind it, it feels like it's got great matchups into a number of champions that are really popular right now. And it also opens up for AP junglers and stuff. And I'm like, wow, this champion's got so much going for it and no one plays it.
Yeah, in certain low levels, I sort of understand. In a
fringe,
it's a bit hard to. It's one of the champions that is notoriously a lot of practice required, sort of the high mechanical experience, etc. But all in all, I definitely think it has been a little bit undervalued in pro play, especially in places like Korea where you sort of expect really strong chases.
Mm-hmm.
Not the most coming out. We see it mostly in the mid lane, which is a change of pace, and I think it's because there's been much more relevance of these tanks that can sort of jump on top of it and kill it, like Cassante, like hold that.
Slater use the feather pull, just trying to get some additional damage, and actually missed Puddin right there. Although I will give Slater props because he stepped back into the recon queue, so Slater confirmed better ADC than Puddin.
And finding some pretty nice angles with the feathers to just get that travel through poke. So currently, this bot lane working out extremely well for SBTC, kind of as expected. Has a stronger level and has... Okay, sorry. Just wanted that minion to be a little bit closer.
He also had to do a little bit of damage too. That was the other important bit. Okay, I want to keep my eye on Dio1's build path because again, ability path upgrades because again, I feel like I've still seen people going for multiple levels in Q, and W maxing is still just like it literally makes you invincible in the mid lane against mages. So DNK on the wraparound, will he get Yashino? Yashino has absolutely no idea. He's gonna get clowned right here. He tanks the Q. He tanks the stun. He's gonna flash. It does not matter in the slightest. DNK gets first blood.
Yep, DNK flat with a quick flash follow. Probably didn't need to. It wasn't actually a very far flash from Yoshino, but either way, gets on top. Hold on.
Sora gonna find something. Knock up, immediately allowing Slater to get aggressive into the Nautilus, and Nautilus doing what Nautiluses do best inside of League of Legends, which is die.
Yep, Nautiluses, especially now that they've discovered the ways of the glacial augment, have committed the final sin of dying over and over and over again.
I believe that champion holds far and away the highest death, total death average per game. It might not just be in VCS. I'm pretty sure it's in VCS, but I think it might actually also be just in general. It's got one of the highest death rates because the champion just gets bullied so much on the bottom side.
It's a really nice setup from Slater. Just Slater lands the initial feather pull, and then Polite has the easy follow up, and from there, cleanse on the exhaust. It's just undeal.
Yeah. It was also, like, I was a little surprised that Sora decided to take the initiative and throw a hook at Paulette there, because they obviously knew that Paulette was looking for an engagement of some kind. But I would have thought as the Nautilus, he could have maybe turned and tried to key the other direction. There's Sora. Again, a gank from DNK. Not going to be able to stick the E. Now Gravitum. Could actually lead to Fook 1 getting something on the backside of this play. No, not going to be the case, as looks like the wave's just going to get cleared on both sides.
I like Slater throwing out some feathers as a dissuasion tactic. If Team Flash stepped too far forward, it would have bounced ended badly for them. And you sort of see a bit of how much committal SBTC did to that first play, kind of biting them there a little bit. They couldn't quite follow up on Sora to finish that off, but that's fine. They still end up coming out on top, realistically getting to crash another wave in. And we see Puddin has elected to go for the call, which is going to be okay, but trading.
Switch to the Galio, cowards. I need to see the W rating.
Yeah, I feel like maybe 2 or 3 points into Q is definitely going to come through from
Wrong.
Dia. Ooh.
Okay, attempted play. Sora not going to be able to get it, though, so nothing too crazy about that one. Another person better than Puddin at this video game. Look at that. Huh.
Damn.
What a crazy mechanic that is.
You're like crying in the production room.
Is he a Puddin fan?
He's been a bit of a Puddin fan.
He's being a Puddin. Are we sure he doesn't mean the food Puddin and not like the player?
I don't know. Maybe.
I never asked him.
I've had a lot of talk about Puddin.
Our producer could just like write it on the screen, right? Like that's like.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah. No, but he could if he wanted to. He could write what his favorite flavor of pudding is if he wanted to. Look at that XP per level. I mean, nothing crazy. The biggest thing is that DNK is doing great and is pretty far advanced in this game with the kill, with everything else, and is able to do quite a bit of work. This is also not the first Nocturne we've seen. The first one was Levi's, which was that Stridebreaker Nocturne, which was pretty awesome. It was also full tank and did absolutely no damage, but it wasn't really for the damage. It was a lot more for that engagement coming through and being able to hit Stridebreaker on multiple members to set up a play, which is why it's so filthy with the cannon, because then...
yeah, it definitely looks like it's going to be much the same. Sora just...
Not us players, am I right?
Sora just messing around with that Hex Flash. It's just having a good time. Just...
Go back to Blitzcrank.
I will agree with that. More Blitzcrank, less Nautilus. It's the way to make the game fun again.
He's the only one allowed to play it anyways. After B lost on it, he's the only one allowed to play Blitzcrank at the moment.
All right. As we move up onto this dragon.
I was about to say, Slater, you're going to lose the title of being better than Puddin if you're not careful.
Okay. Yeah, they're going to pick up this dragon pretty easily. There might be an attempt of a collapse to clean up the fight afterwards.
Yeah, that's the play. The Galio delivered way too far back to actually have massive impact, although Dia1 could just turn left if he wanted to at any given point. They went after Sora, and they just kind of bailed on that play completely. Here's the re-engage from Ari. This Fook1 is going to be able to utilize the Rakan, gets stunned up in the midst of everything, doesn't have the ability to ult again, but Jane is kind of helping out clean everything here. Puddin gets that kill. Charm is going to get through as the cleanse is necessary to make that happen. Jane's reinforcement right here actually wins a big play from Team Flash. I really thought SBTC Esports was going to crush this, but thankfully, again, the re-engage and the reinforce means that Team Flash should be able to walk away with a goal advantage.
Yeah, some very strange decision-making on the target selection. They go all in onto this Nautilus and not try and go for anyone else. Once they get it down, they continue to try and push a little bit far forward, and then they're just kind of stuck in a position taking it as a lot of damage from Pudding, a lot of damage from Jane. Then it's a nice re-engage from Sora to fix it up. Unfortunately, Fook gets stuck as a Rakan, so it's very squishy, but Jane finds a nice charm on the end to force a cleanse.
I'm baffled by a number of things that happened in that play. I'm still confused why DNK went into the Nautilus instead of into the double stack and then delivering Galio onto two members of the team. Yeah. You would have minimum burnt Pudding and Fook1's flash probably. So I don't know. It's fine. It is what it is. SBTC Esports figured it out. So
I guess to be somewhat charitable, you can probably say he didn't know Fook1 was exactly there, given that he was stuck in the Void Mist and he doesn't actually show himself with...
My response to your saying I should be charitable is no, I will not.
I didn't say you have to be. I said to
if you want it to be.
Well, yeah, if you wanted to be, I guess. You don't have to be. But
I refuse that right.
That is... Alright.
I choose instead to be...
We've hit the hour.
I choose instead to be pessimistic.
Choose instead to hate all of these players.
I wake up extra early so I can hate even further. Okay.
Now we have Bled. We have him looking around. He kind of wandered off nowhere for the play. It was a bit interesting in that state. But it's a trade on the top side. They pick up the Rift Herald, and it's a small lead for Emperor, but that's not gonna amount. It's not too much to worry about. The one kill from the assist the one assist from DNK, and it's just a small lead coming out for the side of SBTC through these lanes.
Now, top lane could be under some fire at some point if you wanted to for Fook 1. I would say shutting down the Kennen would be valuable, and then dropping Rift Herald for the Jace feels like a slam dunk of a play, if you will, Mobby. I know you get that reference, being a basketball player and whatnot. But right now, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. The posturing is just Fook 1 dropping in the bottom lane as the back was taken by Slater and Paulette.
Yeah,
do they get 2 plates here? I think it's enough for 2 plates, actually.
Yes, should be.
Huge! Nice.
Puddin gets it. Puddin's going to be happy. Gets to...
That makes the gold even, too. Look at that.
Yeah, and that's very close, but not quite. I think you sort of run into a bit of a strange situation with this comp from SBTC, and that is you have a composition that in days past would just dive top over and over and over again. But in this day and age, diving top over and over and over again kind of doesn't do anything. You don't want to do that because you want to dive bot over and over and over again. So yeah, unfortunately you're stuck. Unless play wants to dig deep and pull out the Camille support at any given time, you probably don't see this Nocturne Galio combo again. Or really pulling off the effectiveness that it once did. But
jumping in with the ultimate, Fook 1 getting brought down right outside the tower. I'm just saying, Iki guy's right there. Now dive onto the top lane. That's gonna be an ultimate coming through from Emperor to be able to stun him out from under everything else. DNK gets denied.
Oh, Yoshino!
No, the auto attack's not gonna be enough, and DNK also misses. Now Emperor's
What have you done? You fool! You buffoon! You're absolute.
Disaster strikes in the top lane. Oh. Yeah. Somehow, Fook 1 falls on that bottom side dive in the 3v2, and then the 2v1 dive under the top down. What did we learn, Mobby? Do not dive. Don't make aggressive plays. Simply farm. That's all that needs to happen. As Paulette, again, look at that for Paulette, too. He gets pushed out and then immediately goes back in to catch Fook 1 right at the edge of the tower range. And then I love this. This is my favorite part. Look at this. Full Kennen ultimate, or nearly full Kennen ultimate. E denies DNK access. How did he auto? Wait, how did he? What? Oh, there's no minions! Yashido's a genius. What? Yashido cleared the minion wave. Yashido has he's got 113 IQ. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Emperor, realistically, you just call it off and walk back through the jungle. That's what you should do in every situation. Yashino now has that full eclipse. I'm not sure if he had him originally in that play, but he has it now, so that's going to be even harder to pull off because now he's going to get that shield and he's going to be pretty comfortable. So now we're going to see if Team Flash can try and dive bot lane again. This time DNK is in the area. No paranoia
Learn your lesson, please.
Just yet.
Everyone learn your lesson.
No more diving.
No more diving.
What we're going to do is we're going to go for a pause and we'll come back in 20 minutes. I hope to see no more dives.
You're currently cursing us, and I do not appreciate it. Do not anger the VCS gods. They will oblige you.
No, I meant the game will still play, but we'll disappear.
Jane is simply dead. Okay. Nope, never mind. Jane's insane at the game in the mainframe.
Paulette.
Well played.
Paulette's just going to short his entrance there for some reason. Bit of a strange choice.
Funny. That's why.
Meanwhile, Slater's left all alone. They're gonna try and set up a dive. They've got a wave crashing, but everyone can participate. So
actually good by DNK, I think. It's hanging around, making sure Slater's free to farm that wave.
And I guess what we really need to do is D1 needs to find a way to escape this lane. He hasn't gone for he didn't go for material for mats, I don't think. Which means he's gonna probably always stay a little bit behind the Ahri in terms of wave priority, but they find a good stop where Slater leaves and Puddin just hangs around and picks up a first brick.
It takes a 1,200 gold lead here as Team Flash. That's pretty solid. It's not necessarily that SBTC Esports is weak right now. It's more so just that, like, again, the game has played out a little slower than I think SBTC wanted it to, because you really want to be able to force with, like, DNK and Dia1 and all these D names and whatnot. But they haven't been able to, I think, to the extent that they were looking for. Again, the one Galio ultimate on top of the Nocturne ultimate that they had really didn't actually turn out to much. So that was the problem as they're going to Rift Herald. They're going to grab up some gold. They're going to grab up potential take of the tower. There's no real response coming in. Jace on the bottom side of the map. No TP's here for Yashino if you really want to make that fight happen, but I doubt that they're going to, lose the farm over this Rift Herald. I could be wrong. You know what? I'm wrong. Team Flash is coming here to fight.
Here we go.
That was
that hook.
PayPal hook from Sora right there. As Slater cleanses immediately to make sure that the orb isn't going to tag them. DNK shuts off the lights to make sure that there is no reasonable entrance, as that's going to be the Rift Herald being taken by DO1. He's going to flash over the back of the turret, or the back of the pit, and that is that. Just the Rift Herald being taken by SBTC Esports.
Yeah, once again, DNK trying to go onto Jane with his with the paranoia, not really to any effect, because Jane just ults twice and DNK can't follow up, but there's push into the mid-wave. Mid-wave was prepared earlier by Flash. They can't really defend with just Galio and Emperor, so that's going to go down. It's going to be traded, which isn't that bad in terms of gold, but mid-lane tower is just so much more valuable to take. Do Flash find an angle, or is Sora going to contribute to the death fund?
Okay.
No,
I think we're okay.
Neither.
I think we are all right. Yes, nothing bad is going to happen here. So instead, we will just back. Nothing crazy. Everyone's walking away. Slater's pretty strong in this game. Yashino slowly collecting a bunch of gold inside of this game. I think everybody's getting powerful that wants to get powerful. Again, the one question is, when in the world are we going to get our full-on Galio and Nocturne combination team fight? Because that's that. If I only get one this game, I would be happy. If Emperor gets on top of members, like 2 or 3 members that were knocked out by DO1 because of DNK's ultimate, I would be content. But we got to see it happen.
Yeah, we really just need to see... Yeah, anything. Emperor needs to really get involved. He hasn't really had the opportunity. This dragon might be it. It's been a split so far, 1-1. It is just a Cloud Drake, though, so it's not necessarily something that you have to contest.
Just a Cloud Drake?
Let me finish. You don't have to really contest each individual Drake. The Drakes themselves aren't super valuable.
Just a Cloud Drake?
Yes, just a Cloud Drake. It's
somebody
not
would be mad about that. I'm not mad about it. But
I'll tell you. Yeah, it would be Atlas. Mr. Atlas LCK.
Listen, movement speed is the best stat in any game that lets you add more. But I agree with you. I don't think Cloud Drake necessarily wins this game. Although, I will be honest, Cloud Drake on Galio and Rakan are really good. And Kennen, actually.
Yes.
It's super good stat for those champions. So it could be a massive game winner for that team.
I think the Soul is really nice, and it's good to see. And SBTC should absolutely be after that with for Emperor and Paulette, if nothing else. But yeah, just individual Drakes, you don't have to contest a full 5v5. So if you're Team Flash, you should be more than happy to just push out the side waves. Still waiting for a Rift Herald drop. DO1 is bringing it now, and maybe they can crack this mid lane open. But with Venom,
probably gonna crack mid lane. That will do it most certainly. I think I could be wrong. Yeah, okay, that gets it. And then they can go to Cloud Drake, which is the other big thing. And Kennen set up a bit of the jungle here, which is really good for the wraparound, so Emperor ready for the big team fight that could come through. But it's not going to happen. Instead, it's just going to be TF redeploying into mid lane, making sure that they've got an angle to push up mid tower if there's no response coming out from SBTC Esports.
Yeah, just sort of trading back and forth a little bit. Kind of a complete sacrifice of topside by SBTC, so they lose that inner tower, which is a pretty sizable chunk of gold over to the side of Flash. But it's still okay. It's still only within... It's about 2,000 gold. It's not something to be terribly concerned with if you're SBTC. We're just still waiting for that angle to have that big team fight, because that's where SBTC's composition shines. That's what it's designed for. It's not the best at side laning. It's not the best at this sort of shove wave and rotate, really. So we're just waiting for DNK and DO1 to be in the same area to actually get something done.
Just hanging out.
Down the
waiting
street.
for something interesting to happen. If I had a stick, I'd poke them and say do something, but I don't have one, so that's unfortunate.
No.
Also now with Jane being as strong as they are inside of this game, having nearly 2 completed items, having the Spirit Rush, they just freely kind of push the lane, and then DO1's kind of stuck here. Here's DK, maybe looking for something.
DO1 just does not have enough wave shove to bully out to keep the minion wave at bay. So Jin just gets pretty free hits onto the tower. Okay, Paulette.
Oh, Paulette with an absolutely filthy engagement, but gets stopped up really quickly. Emperor now also looking for something a little bit more. He presses like 2 abilities, and that's that. Doesn't want to pop the ultimate, doesn't want to go for anything crazy right there. Instead, it is Paulette burning most of their engage tools for basically nothing.
Oh yeah, DNK ult even went down. Paranoia didn't go anywhere. Now he's in trouble.
Great play, blocking the charm. Doesn't block the stun, but it doesn't matter because you don't need to block that stun. At the tail end of that, he's able to walk out effectively. As TF forcing SBTC Esports out of their own jungle. Fukwon taking away the red buff. Kind of wild right now, the way that Flash is playing. Again, we knew that last game they were playing really, really good League of Legends as well. This game cleaning up entirely, being the ones to kind of force around the map on all objectives as best as possible. Big team fight hasn't been possible yet for SBTC Esports either, as there's been no really hotly contested objective on the map. Maybe Baron changes that to give them an opportunity to come back in this game.
Yeah, the big difference really compared to game 1 is it's just so much slower. Like, it's still all good League of Legends, and both sides are playing mostly pretty well. But yeah, it's just such a different feel to the game. It's just slower. They're just Team Flash are now in control, and they're playing it out to hold the side waves, keep the pressure on, just poke a little bit into the jungle and set up vision, try to keep yourself defended, and it feels like they're trying to play scaling, though their composition isn't exactly a traditional scaling comp.
No.
But they also definitely don't want to give these mid-game powerhouses like Galio and Nocturne the angle to have that wombo combo team fight and just completely end the game. Okay, Paulette?
Oh, there we go. A little bit of an engagement.
That's a lot burned for just the Nautilus, though. They're not going to turn it onto the Baron. That would be a bit too much risk, especially with the Shock Blast from Yoshino doing a decent amount of damage. But it might... No, there's still a minute and a half till Dragon, so it's just a pick. Nothing to worry about.
Hello? Alright.
Hello? I thought you were doing your thing again.
Nah,
okay.
My internet's life flashed before. No, see, this is why I do it, to keep you on your toes. As Yoshino is getting run down, but okay. Okay, I was gone for 5 seconds, and now we're just immediately in goon mode.
Alright, that's gonna be a pick on Yoshino.
Oh, huge ultimate to try to deny onto Emperor. Paulette. What are we doing, man? He goes in jumping for the shield, but now
Slater flank.
Feathers. Yeah, huge. Oh, couldn't quite get it. Okay, there we go. All right, well played by Slater. All right, very last second able to use that effectively. So
has the flash, and that's a nice big dinner. And Emperor trying to starting the play, and Slater finishing it. It's still 30 seconds to Dragon. Jane will need some time. But okay, this does not stop.
Onto Aphelios, except nobody else has done damage, so it's just DNK. Now Paulette jumping in with the ultimate doesn't actually get anything either. Here comes DL1 trying to find something as well, as Slater drops damage. He's going to be able to... wait on the feather pool, There it is. Oh, never mind. Doesn't even matter. Not going to worry in the slightest. Feather pool not going to hit Yoshino on the way out either, as he teleports in to try to find something, misses the shock blast, is going to do a little bit of damage to DL1, who has to flash away. Now it's a question of whether they can get anything else. Gotta be super careful with the shot. Oh, no, the ward was there and they didn't know. And now Slater super low as well. Fukwon looking for something. They're probably gonna have to give up Dragon, but at minimum, SBTC Esports have neutralized from between when I started cutting out and between now. I mean, they've taken back the 3,000 gold that they were down at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, and overall, I think it's should still be SBTC's play in terms of gold. They do lose the Dragon here, but this is just a decision. Because Paulette's ultimate isn't up quite yet, so that's just a mistiming, I think. But DL1 used his ultimate in the bot lane play to save Kennen, so this is just really bad decision-making all around him. The stopwatch and the Inferno doesn't do a lot, but here they try to catch Yoshino, I guess, but he just does a lot of damage, and they find themselves set up on the wrong side of town. The plus I think is able to run down Sora, so yeah, unlucky.
Yeah. That was kind of a disaster right there. And again, if it weren't for the ward, I feel like maybe that DL1 would have been able to do something right there. If he hits that that E, then they can turn, they can drop enough Slater damage that maybe it makes it worth it, but unfortunately not able to, as instead they just walk away. Now it's even Dragons, but the gold back to being even as well for a team that is forcing, like you said, that mid-game spike started to come in. Black Cleaver for DNK, also super big power spike, because that allows for Slater to not have to build a bunch of armor pen or anything like that against any team that is tanky. Problem is, Yoshino nearing 3-item completion, nearing the point where this Jace is going to really start packing a punch against this squad. So really got to start looking for ways to get into the backline, make sure that this Jace is disrupted so there's no chance of anything ever happening.
Yeah, I'm really looking for Paulette and DNK to go on a scouting mission, try and find the way into a backline, put down a ward that maybe Emperor can utilize and to try and to set up the whole thing. You put in Emperor, you put in the Galio on top. Okay?
That's something. Gonna try to get in there. It doesn't look like DL1's ultimate's gonna accomplish all that much, but they are able to at least get a kill against Puddin, which is humongous. Trying to get Slater into this fight is gonna be massive. Liverpool gets basically nothing. As one goes down, nothing. Emperor gets nothing with the ultimate either, so the ultimates just don't tag. And now, Luke 1 fancied himself a bit of fight right there, but doesn't end up going over top the walls. Just a 1-for-1 with everything burnt. Multiple flashes, other things kind of burnt as well. Slater's still alive as well, which kind of dissuades Team Flash from doing anything too crazy. I say that as Sora goes back in with something. DL1 on the front line gonna dissuade them from going anywhere else. That's probably the end of the
shopping as Sora finds a hook onto him. And yeah, they commit so much onto Puddin, but because they don't actually have that lockdown to set up the Galio with just the DNK dive, it means that Puddin's able to get into a position where the Galio ult kind of maybe delays the assistance, but doesn't really do much in terms of setting up the rest of the team. The rest of SBTC were just too far away to actually engage. So you see here, it's all onto Pudding. The flash is over the wall, the flash is mashed, and they commit so hard to get this, but DL1 doesn't really join in. Emperor and Slater are just too far away. The ultimate doesn't get a lot because Fuka's in the middle of his I'm Viego mode. So, fun iframes are done and busted, and Viego shouldn't have them. Because if he didn't have them, that would have been a huge fight for SBTC. Almost.
Yeah, you gotta play around those things. They're better than that, all right, Mobby? They're built different, okay? Yeah, everybody hates the champion. Not nearly as much as other champions. That's not true. I think Viego's got a lot of appreciators, and it's not nearly as unplayable as against other certain champions. There's a million of them.
It's a personal dislike of mine.
That's fair.
It's just you set up the character of the Ruined King, and then it just turns out to be an e-boy, and you just feel a little bit disappointed forever. Yep. Anyway, cool. That's a good charm.
Fight. Okay. Good charm. Doesn't matter. Black can slip out. Lands a Q. Doesn't have to have his teammates play really good League of Legends, because you can just force them to absorb the healing as necessary from Paulette here. DNK also off to the side, kind of just balanced elsewhere. Looking for a bit of action, maybe. Looking for a delivery into this. Galio's within range as well. There's a lot of members kind of clustering together for the attempted punishment. This is where DNK can shine. There we go. Right into the midst of the team. They find a proper Galio. That's a big ultimate from Emperor, who's able to find Yoshino on the front line. That's a big damage dealer. Now into the midst of everyone is DL1. And the fight is gone for the side of Team Flash. That is everybody down. That is the team fight that SBTC Esports has been looking for literally the entire time. And I wonder if this is actually the end of the game. They have 30-second death timers, 35-second death timers. Only one left is Fook 1. A lot of low health bars, but he doesn't have an ultimate. They've got a wave. He has to find a way to clear it, but I just don't think they can. I think SBTC finally found Pater, and I think that they win the game right here and right now.
Yeah, there's no Heartbreaker, as that's the only real AoE source. Fook.
Oh, okay. Everfrost, that's going to lock him in place. He's still fighting his little heart out, but unfortunately the E-Boy is not going to survive much longer. Sora is back for only a couple of seconds. Puddin, you got to buy 8 more seconds before you have an actual damage dealer out and about on the map, and they're going to try to finish. They're going to finish the game as SBTC. It looked a little rickety at the beginning, Bobby, but they do end up finding the win.
They